So this is a question this is my question to you, Mike, which is how useful do you think it is to learn multiple styles of trading? Or is it better just to focus on one, get better at that, and ignore the rest?
I'm all for starting your trading journey with one approach, something simple that you can understand, something that you can do consistently, because building a system around that takes a lot of time. If you try to spend your time building 15 different systems and 15 different asset classes, it becomes so much work that you're unlikely to actually find something that's going to work for you and actually get some consistency from. So in the very beginning, I would say definitely just stick with one thing. Stocks is probably your best choice. I would avoid any type of derivatives or leveraged products because when you understand the math of leverage, you realize the danger you put yourself in very quickly, and you're more likely to fail rather than succeed there. So lower exposure, like some minimum capital to something like stocks, something that's sort of low volatility, even if it's just larger ETFs, and then build a system around that just to get the hang of the process. Over time, though, there are reasons to use other instruments, other styles of trading, because it starts to expose you to different moments in the market regimes, at different reasons that things are happening. There's options trades that can be used that can leverage opportunity in FOMC events. There are futures contracts that can be used to hedge your longer portfolio. There are trend following strategies and mean reversion strategies that are more specific to big volatility events or low volatility events. So as you expand your understanding of how the market changes its mood every day, you start to wonder, is there another way I can build a strategy that starts to capture those moments in the market? Then I think you start to move into something more sophisticated where you have a portfolio of strategies that are all trying to capture different reasons that things happen in the markets.
I talked myself out of a contract a couple of months ago, explaining to somebody exactly that. And they're like, because they thought they were going to build up the strategy, it would run, and they wouldn't have to think about anything else ever again. They're like,
Right.
it's going to run forever. They were like, I've been running this for 6 months, over 6 months worth of data, has a good profit ratio. I'm going to run this forever. And I explained, well, that's not going to be the case. Probably going to need a set of strategies that you're activating, deactivating when you need to, blah blah blah. And once he realized that it was more work than he was willing to put in, he's like, let's just cancel this contract. I was like, damn, I shouldn't have said anything. But my brother, he reminds me, I don't know who's lifting this quote from, but tells me all the time, know 10 times more about the subject that you're dealing with than anybody else, the other people that you're playing against, because otherwise you have this level of ignorance there. Like, something moves inside of the market, you don't know why it moved, you
Yeah.
don't know what to watch out for. It's like going into I assume, I'm not a very sports person, but imagine someone going into a UFC fight and they have no idea of some other technique. They don't even know what they're up against, and they're like, okay, well then, you're completely at the mercy of chance there. And so, the when I first got into trading, I thought it was just all about technical analysis. I never even considered fundamental or event driven, or I didn't even have a granular idea of mean reversion or momentum or anything like that. And I just kept banging my head against the wall. Why isn't this working? Until I learned a trading strategy, until I learned about options, and I go, this is perfect.
Hmm.
I already lost immediately when I get in, so I've already planned for my loss. And if I win, fantastic. This is exactly my personality. Why on earth was I sitting around with the normal technical analysis, or reading reports from gold essays for junior miners, trying to pick out what would be a good miner? It's like, no, this is the way I need to do
Yeah.
it. And so learning multiple styles can really help you, one, figure out exactly what works for you, and then
Yeah.
who you're fighting against.
Yeah. And then I think you kind of need to do some introspection to decide if you're a specialist or a generalist. I think we've seen that type of concept show up in the workplace where some people are particularly skilled at one thing, and that's just what they do. And they're extremely knowledgeable on the subject, and they've gone very, very deep on the topic. That shows up in traders too. Like, I know one trader who shows up in the futures market and his only interest is non-farm payrolls. That's it. Whatever the report shows on non-farm payrolls, he knows exactly what his bet's going to be, and he trades the last hour of the session, and that's it. And that's all he ever needs to trade, because it's the one thing he understands. There are many traders like that where they might spend their entire career taking one type of style and one type of approach that's just work very well for them. I would consider them specialists then, because they know their domain extremely well. They know that part of the market very well. They know what to look for and what not to look for, and what to avoid. If I'm a generalist like me, or if you're generalist like me, then you're driven more by having a diverse set of options, something that you can learn about in multiple ways. I tend to be very attracted to learning new things, so I like going into new markets because that teaches me something that I didn't know before, and I get really excited about that process. So I think knowing yourself is a big part of this too. You made the point of trying out a bunch of things until you see what fits, and I think that's a part of that process. But also knowing whether you're going to want to do multiple things at the same time, or if you just want to do one thing. Either one works. I mean, you just have to find the consistency.
That's right.